a 3-year-old boy. So much potential, and then just silenced. Gunfire.
It's hard to even process.
This is back in August 2021, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Little Kei'Mani Latigue, barely a toddler, found in the back of a car, just riddled with bullets.
Lifeless.
Yeah. And the question hangs there, doesn't it? Was this just random violence, or was it something else? Something darker, maybe? It's still out there.
It casts a long shadow, that's for sure.
So picture it, a pretty standard Las Vegas evening, August 2021. You know those sunsets, right? All dramatic desert colors.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, but intense.
Shamika, his mom, he just visited friends. Kei'Mani's in his car seat, safe and sound, or so she thought.
Right.
He's got his Spider-Man toy. Apparently he loves Spider-Man, and he's giggling back there. Just a completely normal, everyday moment.
That's what's so jarring, isn't it? The absolute normalcy. A mom, her kid, a toy, haggling everywhere every day.
Till it wasn't.
Until it wasn't. That normalcy just shattered brutally.
So they're driving along Westlake Mead Boulevard. Another car comes up behind them. Not aggressively, not like road rage, just there, quietly. Yeah. And then, boom, the sound. Muffled gunfire, they said. Fast. Pop, pop, pop.
Muffled is chilling, suggests intent, planning, maybe.
Could be. The windshield just spiders out, tires screeching. Shamika screams. She's hit in the shoulder, searing pain.
Oh my God.
And in the back seat, the giggling just stops. Silence. Kei'Mani's silent.
That sudden silence, it's the most terrifying part.
In literally seconds, his whole life, his childhood, his future, just stolen. And what came next? Well, it's every parent's nightmare. But, and this is awful, Kei'Mani didn't die right away.
Oh no, that's almost crueler in a way. That sliver of hope against all odds, the agony of waiting.
Exactly. So the paramedics arrive, sirens, flashing lights, chaos. They rush Kei'Mani to UMC trauma.
The best place, but
the news was just grim. A bullet hit his head, but somehow his little heart was still beating, just faintly.
Unbelievable fight in him.
Meanwhile, Shamika, she's wounded, she's in shock, and all she can ask over and over is he okay? Is my baby okay?
Of course. That's all she'd be thinking. She had no idea how critical it really was at that point.
No idea. Just focused on her son.
That disconnect is just heartbreaking to imagine. The sirens, the doctors, and she's just focused on that one question.
Over the next few days, the community, they rallied. Prayers flooded social media. Hashtag pray for Kei'Mani.
Right. You see that happen. People wanting to do something.
Candlelight vigils popped up. So much hope poured out for him. But hope, sometimes it just twists the knife, doesn't it?
It really can. Sets you up for it.
Because on the fourth night, those machines keeping track of him, they started to slow down. The rhythm faltered. Slower and slower.
Oh, God. The waiting must have been unbearable. That collective hope and then the reality setting in.
August 18th, 2021, the absolute worst. Kei'Mani's brain activity, it just stopped. Gone.
Nothing more they could do.
The doctors had to tell Shamika. Can you even imagine hearing those words? Her whole world imploded.
It's unthinkable.
She refused, begged, screamed, held his little hand, just hoping, praying for any sign, a twitch, anything.
That desperation, clinging to any possibility.
But there was just silence, nothing.
The finality of it, brain activity ceased.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Her reaction, the screaming, the begging, it's so raw, so primal.
And then, the final step, the decision nobody ever wants to make, removing him from life support.
He was 3.
3 years old, a life barely started, snuffed out, and it just stops you cold.
Yeah.
You have to ask, where's the justice? Where is it? Because whoever did this...
It's still out there, walking free.
Yeah. Which just adds this whole other layer of horror to it.
It really does. The immediate loss compounded by the complete lack of accountability. It's infuriating.
The police called it a targeted shooting. Targeted. But who? Shamika had no gang ties, nothing like that.
Right. And Kei'Mani he was 3. A toddler.
His biggest worry was probably if Spider-Man could beat the Green Goblin. So who were they targeting? Were they watching them?
It's baffling. The targeted label just raises more questions than it answers. mistaken identity, something else entirely.
All the police really said was the suspect took off westbound. White sedan.
And that's it?
That's pretty much it. No arrests, no suspect named, no license plate number, no clear motive, nothing. Just nothing for Kei'Mani. Only whispers, rumors.
The lack of leads after all this time is deeply troubling. Was it just a terrible mistake? Or something deeper?
People speculate, of course.
Yeah.
Mistaken identity is a big one. Some wondered if Shamika might know something she wasn't saying.
That often happens, doesn't it? Speculation turns toward the victim or their family when answers are scarce.
But there's no evidence. The police haven't presented anything concrete to back those theories up. And then, kind of predictably, the case just went cold.
It faded from the headline.
Yeah. Kei'Mani's name. You just heard it less and less.
Which is another tragedy on top of everything else, when the public attention moves on, but the family is still living it every single day, and the questions just hang there.
But Shamika, she won't let him be forgotten. She's out there now, fighting, speaking at anti-violence rallies.
Incredible strength.
She holds his picture up, that little smiling face. It's a reminder, a warning. She said once, her voice just thick with emotion, I just want people to know he was real. He had dreams. He loved Spidey. He loved life.
Making him real, not just a statistic. That's so important.
So, but can you imagine, every time she drives past that intersection on Lake Mead,
Yeah.
it must just flood back. Every time she hears about another kid hurt by gunfire, she's right back in that nightmare.
The trauma is ongoing. It doesn't just end when the headlines fade. Her advocacy is powerful, but the personal cost, immense.
And yet, it does feel like his story faded, didn't it? Why is that? Is it? I don't know. Uncomfortable thing to think about. Who gets the sustained attention? Whose lives matter more in the news cycle?
It raises difficult questions about race, about socioeconomic factors, about which tragedies resonate and which ones slip away.
How many more kids like Kei'Mani? How many more before we really, truly pay attention? And that chilling thought, what if the killer never even left Vegas? What if they're just living their life?
That possibility is terrifying for the community. The lack of resolution leaves everyone feeling unsafe, wondering. It highlights potential gaps, systemic issues maybe.
I mean, it gets stranger too. People living near that area, near Lake Mead Boulevard, they talk, whisper about odd things.
Oh, like what?
Some say, take this for what it is, but they say they've heard a kid laughing, faintly, late at night.
Wow.
Others claim they've seen like a shadow, just for a second, in the backseat of a car driving by.
That's unsettling.
There's even this one story, probably just local legend, but still, about a driver who crashed, swerved right off the road, claimed he saw a little boy in the car next to him. Eyes wide, mouth open, but silent.
Goodness. Grief does strange things, doesn't it? Trauma manifests in unexpected ways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is it just echoes of grief? The community's collective trauma playing out?
Right.
Or is it something else? Something tied to the fact that his death is still unresolved?
It's hard to say. These experiences, whether psychological or something else, they speak volumes about the deep wound that is left. The unanswered questions feel like they're haunting the place itself.
It really makes you wonder, though, can trauma that intense leave, I don't know, an echo? A ghost, even?
Or is it us? Is it the collective guilt, maybe? The weight of not finding answers, of not getting justice for him? Is that the ghost that lingers?
That's a heavy thought. The line gets blurry, doesn't it, between grief and something else?
It certainly does, especially when a child's life is cut short so violently and senselessly.
Kei'Mani Latigue. He should be in kindergarten now. Learning to read, maybe. Trying to ride a bike without training wheels. Telling silly jokes only a 5-year-old finds funny.
Playing. Just being a kid.
Instead, he's a name on a tombstone. A news headline from a few years back. A memory. A question mark that just hangs over everything.
Yep.
His case might still be cold, officially unsolved. But his story and the uncomfortable questions it brings up about justice, about society, about who we protect, those don't go away.
No, they don't. That contrast, what should have been versus what is, it's the core of the tragedy. His story demands that we don't forget, even if the system hasn't provided answers yet.
So that was the story of Kei'Mani Latigue, a little boy lost far, far too soon. A mystery that hasn't been solved. And a city. Well, a city still waiting for answers. Good night, Kei'Mani. We won't forget you.